Welcome back. This is JG Technology here, giving you another episode pertaining to STP. In this episode, we're going to delve into STP verification and configurations. So first, I want to lay out the STP extensions default settings. All of these extensions that I mentioned in the last episode are disabled by default, besides bridge assurance. So, in this episode, I'm going to show you how to enable BPDU guard, root guard, mostly those two globally and per interface. And also specify which port type, because the default is normal. So we would have to change that to an edge or a network or a root. So let's go into it. First, we're going to configure the root bridge switch. With that, we're going to go into config T, spanning tree, port type, edge, BPDU guard, default. With this command, we are setting the BPDU guard as we're turning on BPDU guard for all edge ports. And then with this command, we're turning on BPDU filter for each edge port. Next, we will also turn on the default. We will enable the default settings for all the network ports. And since this is the root switch, we would like to have the priority set so this will automatically be the root switch. So with that, we will make this VLAN 123.967 priority 24576. Spelled this all wrong. So this sets the priority of this root bridge switch, and will automatically make this the root. So now to do this per interface, switch port mode trunk, because it's going to house at least 2 or 3 VLANs. Then we're going to make this the root. We're going to turn on root guard. Spanning tree, guard, root. So root guard is enabled. Cool. So now we're going to go to the next interface and do the same thing. Switch port. My cursor is all in the way. Switch port, mode trunk, and then we're going to do a spanning tree, guard, root. Nice. So now that we have all of this configured, we're going to verify and see what we have configured. So we're going to show in this configuration and then show spanning tree summary. So apparently all of these VLANs are in the blocking state. But all of the extensions that I enabled are enabled as I configured. And these are all actives. They're just in the blocking state right now. So if I do a show spanning tree, I should see more information about the root ID and the bridge ID, which I did set the priority. And there's more. So this would have the first VLAN for VLAN 100 and then VLAN 200 with a different root ID and bridge ID. Cool. Now I want to show spanning tree detail. Now this shows way more details than the previous commands. This one also shows a topology change. So whenever there is a topology change, this information will be updated with current statistics. Yeah, it's a lot of information. I would most likely remember show spanning tree detail and show spanning tree summary. Obviously show spanning tree. So yeah, show spanning tree detail and summary are very important commands when dealing with STP. So moving on to the next switch, I'm going to configure this one up real quick for y'all. Y'all just can follow along. So now moving on into the interfaces. Oh, switchboard access. And spanning tree, port type, edge. Since it's connected to a host, then no shut. Okay, so we're in that, and now we're gonna show spanning tree summary. Seems like we have one in the blocking, and then one in forwarding, two in forwarding. Okay, this looks good. Okay, so now show spanning tree. This shows all the information that's needed, the priority number, the cost, what type of link it is, and then we're gonna show spanning tree detail. I'm gonna get even more details. Man, network engineers would have a ball with this. But moving on. So now we're going to configure the third one, and this one will be the last one we'll configure, and I'll leave you with that. So just follow along. It's pretty similar. Configurations. Turning on BPDU on all the edge ports, and filtering on all the edge ports. Also configuring network ports by default. Now we're going to go into the interfaces level. Switch ports, mode trunk, E22, oops. And then switch port, mode trunk, and then it's going to be an edge port. So we gotta make switch port access VLAN 200. Spanning tree port. Port type edge, and then no shut. So now with that, I want to see the spanning tree summary. So spanning tree and show spanning tree summary. Okay. This is looking good. They're all in the forwarding state. So let's see the show spanning tree. And then details. Where's detail? Okay. So that's all we have here. This is how you verify and configure that you have set up STP with different port types and different extensions. So I hope you enjoyed this quick video, and will continue to watch my episodes to come.